So the next move that we're doing is a high inward knife hand side strike. So we're here in Won-Hyo Tong, we lift up and we deliver. So the technique is done too high, which means the knife hand is at the level of the neck, it's striking inwards the neck, and it is on rear chest line. So if I pivot here, you can see my center line with my hips at 45 degrees is facing off towards this way, and then you can see hopefully that it is level straight out from my chest, and you want to be on the rear one because you're striking in level with this side of your own neck, not coming across this way. Okay, we have a reaction hand. The reaction hand is going to hover over the bicep, nice and here, okay, just 1 inch away from the bicep, there. This is the same as we would do pulling back with our rear hand on most techniques. It has the same effect. Hands are moving in an opposite direction. From here, full sine wave, up and deliver. Make sure the two hands are coming together, they finish at the same time, and we're in a nice, lovely L stance. So the next technique to do is a fixed stance 4-fist punch. This is not a side punch. Because we are here, we are in fixed stance, our hips are facing 45 degrees. We are facing this way, this is our forwards direction, so it is a forwards punch. This out here would be a side punch. So fixed stance 4-fist punch, we are here in the pattern, we shift our weight back. Okay, we bring both our feet facing to the new direction that we're going here, and then we drop ourselves down. We're pulling halfway in, lifting ourselves up, and the rotation of the back foot happens at the end of the technique. So coming towards the camera, this way, pull back halfway, hands raise, opposite reaction force, and then we drop. And this is called a slip because we're extending our stance. Remember, fixed stance is 1 foot width longer than an L stance, which we're moving to. And the weight distribution is 50-50. So make sure you're dropping down nice and hard into the center rather than onto the back leg. So we will see a bending ready stance for the first time, and we're coming straight out of our fixed stance punch up into it. So let's get the weight distribution right first. We're transferring our weight from center over onto this standing foot in order to pick it up. We put the ball of our foot down first, and as we do so, we transfer the weight onto that new standing leg. Now what we don't do is we don't kick our leg out and put it back in, because that's liable to be throwing us off balance, especially if I were pointing uphill somewhat. Instead, we leave it out here. We leave it at parallel. We do lock the leg out this way. We bring the hands up a little higher than they naturally would, and we're going to drop down into it. We're not pulling as far forwards anymore as we would like to, just as a result of the fact that we need to drop down into this technique. A small adaptation to make our lives easier. Here. Full sine wave as we would normally do. So the next move that we need to do is a circular block. So you're in the pattern, you're here. A 4-fist punch in fixed stance. And again, we have the same weight transfer as we just had. Remember, put your weight onto this left leg, and then as this comes down, the ball of the foot comes down, the heel of the opposite foot comes up, and we transfer onto our right leg. Step down, circular block and through. So the application of this is twofold. First of all, we have this right hand. It's coming in and it is catching, it is blocking a front kick. So it is not a high impactive, it's medium impactive. It's not an outer forearm block where we're trying to smash the kick, we're trying to break legs. It's here just to catch it against our leg here. Nice and easy. And then the secondary application, and remember this is the secondary application, do not state it as a primary application. Scoop, and then we're throwing it off to the side. The leg is here on the arm, and then as we pivot through, it's being thrown off to the side this way. Just remember, one common mistake is if you have your left leg forward, you're going to have to use your right arm, and the other way around. If you've got your left leg forward and you're trying to use your left arm, if you're doing it correctly, you're going to have a bit of trouble with that. Okay? So, delivering the technique. First of all, not quite old style, we used to do it very much down here. If you could get your knee to touch the floor, that would be great. That's not how it is anymore, okay? Keep your weight centered, is a small knee drop, the same that we would if we were here and trying to deliver something in a sine wave without moving our legs. Through, catch. Make sure there's a full execution on here. We've got the same breathing pattern that we would have if it was connecting motion. So one breath, but it continues throughout the entire move. Through here, okay? Using the inner forearm to here. Reaction hand is going to come up to your shoulder, and then we lift, and we're ready to execute. Remember, see this hand just stays exactly where it is, just lifting, and then we drop and throw out. Now, one key difference to note is that we're not full facing on this one, we're what's called reverse half facing. So if half facing is here, with my hips off to 45 towards my open side, then now we are here, 45 degrees off towards my closed side. Difficult thing is trying to keep your back foot at 25 degrees off the angle. The arm also 25 degrees, it follows the rear foot, as we often have. All the way through, weight transfer, drop, through, and here. Get those shoulders over, keep them nice and relaxed, try and keep your weight 50-50 over the legs. Keep this at 25 and this out at 25 as well. Good. When you're moving into the next move, you're going to leave your arm there as you do the front kick before you relax. But that's a totally separate move. So the final thing to think about in Won-Hyo is the rotation as you reach the end of the pattern. We come into here, we're in Goburyo Sogi. We chamber, we side kick. And what happens is what's called rear side stepping. Now we're putting our foot down this way. We're going to leave our hips, trying to get them at 45 degrees, at least this way, and we're going to pull round. Now this is part of our relax movement, and from here, we know what to do. We've done this 100 million times before, but it's just trying to land this standing foot behind so that the foot is facing 45 degrees, facing the heel this way, and then transferring the weight onto it and pulling ourselves down and around, ready to go.